The author doesn't always overlap where like, oh, this scene just happened from this person's perspective, and now, oh, do you have opinions too, Pygmy? Yes. It is good to see you. Thank you for gracing us with your presence. Alright, now back to what I was saying. Um, it is a technique to have a scene happen in one book, or one chapter, sorry, in one person's perspective, and then the next chapter is in a different person's perspective. It's fine, like there's nothing wrong with it, but it needs to add something, like an unexpected perspective where you know you're missing something from one, and then when you get to the next one you're like, oh, that's what was actually happening, right? And I'm not getting that the couple of times the author has used this technique. All right, relax, we're chilling, I know. So this chapter, yeah, it's kind of the same. It's the same thing. Uh, I'd rather the story just continue forward rather than rehashing the same scene. I think this one actually might be a trust your readers moment, where the author's like, oh, well, you wouldn't get this point from Aurora's perspective. You have to get it from Max's perspective. And because she's done a really good job of telling me, like, giving me each of the people's perspectives in multiple scenarios, I don't need Max's perspective or Jordan's because I can extrapolate based on what she's already set up previously in the book. So, yeah, I think this is exactly that. Trust your readers. They've been paying attention. We know what's going on. Um, and if you have done a good job in setting up, we're halfway through the book, right? So if you've set up your characters in the first half of the book, now you can trust me to, like, know, or at least be able to guess fairly accurately how the other characters are experiencing a scene. So now just pick the character that's going to give the best reaction. And the first character, Aurora, for this scene of getting to meet Jordan is the appropriate character because she's the one who's getting to meet Jordan for the first time. And she's excited and, like, it's good, emotion. So I don't need anybody else's perspective. That's pretty funny. I feel ya, Jordan. I feel ya. I thought the whole idea of selling more than one type of anything was stupid, let alone one that was more expensive than another. Yeah, the grocery store is indeed overwhelming, even for someone who is not neurodivergent. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright. Sure. It's fine. That happens. It's always so funny when you come across a piece, um, like a part in a story where you're just like, I don't like that. I would have done that differently. You have to respect that this is how they wrote it. This is, like, I'm only halfway through, so who knows? Maybe later on I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah, if that hadn't happened, then this part that I did like couldn't have happened. So we'll see. I don't know. It feels, again, I don't want to, like, ruin it. I want to keep this pretty spoiler free. But I will say it does feel a little Deus Ex Machina. Um, but technically it's not because it's not, like, directly solving a problem, but I feel like it is going to solve a problem coming up. But then technically that's not, God coming down and just, look, you have no more issues, right? So, uh, hmm. So I would say that getting to this point where Jordan's mother is becoming a lot more prominent in the story, I would have liked a little bit more characterization of her earlier on. I would have a lot more to go off of. Because I think mainly what I'm struggling with is sympathizing with her. Um, I do sympathize with her, but not based on the book necessarily, based on my experience and knowledge of mothers. And I think some elements of his life are directly because of her, but again, there's a difference between, yeah, we most of us know from experience of having met this kind of parent that, oh, his regimented life is a lot because of her, and not and it comes from a place of love, right? So we all like understand, a lot of us understand those things, but I think I would have liked a lot more of it put into the writing, um, and just like a little better of a setup. Yeah, that would be my request at this point. I was just starting to wonder if we were going to have any romantic tendencies here. Because so far, the relationship between Max and Aurora has been extremely chaste, which I kind of like. Because, man, I'm pretty tired of all these spicy books out here. And I know you're going to say, but the spicy, like, they're the best. Why would you not like it? I just feel like there's romance in every single book, and I don't need it all the time. For me, spice level, like half a chili. That's about where I like. And this right here is like, this book has been like a quarter of a chili, so it's so nice. I his mom, in response to Max's, oh, I need help with life stuff, is to bring out a solid gold vinyl LP of Leonard Skinner's pronounced album. It's beautiful. Because it was his dad's album. Oh, and there's a specific song, track 4 of Leonard Skinner's Pronounced. So I'll put it in the description then so you can go and listen to it. Uh, Jordan is now having a big like thing that's happening to him, big life change. The last, I think, 3 chapters that I read ended with like, nothing could have prepared us for this. Like, this one is, but there was no way to be prepared for what Max said, and I hadn't the slightest idea which way it was going to go. I waited, knowing I was about to find out exactly what he was up to. So, like, that's totally fine. Like, I love chapters that end with that, like, anticipatory, ooh, what's gonna happen? But you can't do it that many times in a row. When you choose a convention or, like, a writing tool, you have to, like, use it mindfully, which I'm not saying the author didn't use it mindfully, but used it too often, so I am very aware of it now. My, whatever, it doesn't matter, the book is written, but my suggestion would have been to take out Aurora's perspective at this point, because I'm much more interested in Max's perspective. Because Jordan has made a big decision, and Max is the one who has the biggest feelings about it. So let us find out how Max indeed feels about this. This is probably one of the most realistic moments. Not to say that the book is very realistic in so many ways, but I guess for me, it's the moment that really hits. So this whole time I've kind of been like, these kids are very mature for being 17, 18, and 20, Like, not to say anything terrible about teenagers, love them to death. But I was a dumb teenager once, making rash and excited like decisions, and so this is a coming of age story, so not to like give away too much, but yes, the discussion of moving out is being had. It's you have this like beautiful dream and vision of how it's going to look to move to a new place and to do these like big adult things, you know, because you see the adults in your lives having done it, and you're like, sure, that was easy. But it's not. It has so many implications that you can't know about until you're actually doing it. And so the scene that I just read is the parents giving a nice cold dose of reality um, onto these like plans. So I don't know about you, but when I'm reading a book that describes the food, I almost always get hungry, unless I've eaten, obviously, or sometimes I'm eating while I'm reading, but they had chocolate chip cookies and chocolate milk. I don't have any chocolate chip cookies, but I do have some fresh, well, I mean, couple day old peanut butter cookies that I made myself. And I think I will munch on some with my tea and enjoy. I think we might be able to finish the book. Look at that! So close. I just reached another spot where I'm like, that could very easily be the last page of the book. There's definitely more that can happen here, but it feels very much like an ending for Jordan. But I can see there's like a couple things that we need to like wrap up for Max and Aurora, because Max just had his big like apotheosis and realization, but now it has to like, how is it going to affect the rest of his life? And Aurora's story has been a lot quieter, which I really appreciate, because her backstory is very dark. Most books would make that so big and dramatic, and like she'd have to confront the people of her past, and she'd have, you know, these big breakdowns where she's crying, and her climax would be getting angry at Max. And I really like Aurora's story. Very like quiet and not too dramatic. The whole story in general has a cozy feel to it. I don't know if I would necessarily call it a fully cozy book, but it does have that. We're not dealing with like the big awfuls of the world. We're talking about the small things that happen in everyday life, and a lot of like interpersonal, how do we navigate interacting with each other, especially in that time right after high school, when you're first trying to decide, like, what does it mean to be an adult? Oh, it's really sweet. I'm not gonna tell you what happens, but I'm sure you can guess by my reaction. And that's it. That is Jordan Blue. All right, first impression, having just gotten to the last page, definitely loved the arcs of the three characters. It all came together very satisfyingly. There was a lot of like first book like issues, you know, some typos, some unconventional formatting, a couple of story beats that I were like, it was either a little clunky or just didn't quite fit the way that, maybe even just didn't quite fit the way that I expected it to. And that's why I like reading indie books, you know, is because they're just, I like having something different. I don't, the major publishing industry has really codified a lot of this stuff. And so having some unexpected things happen, you know, either in the plot or like in the way that the book looks, is, it's really fun to me. So yeah, overall, I enjoyed Jordan Blue. Thank you, Danielle. Thanks for writing this.